Wow, Alawi is so fun to play against. So fun! Yep, I'm having a great time, can you tell? Wait a minute. So you want to know the optimal builds on Riven. Don't worry, I got you. In Season 14, Riot has finally gotten rid of those horrible mythic items. We don't have to play against game-breaking mythics anymore. Bye-bye Sunderer, bye-bye Duskblade. But the best part is we can actually build whatever we want now. We can build more situationally than we used to with mythics. And they added some cool new items we could play with and changed a whole lot of things. Like what the hell is going on around here, man? Really? For the runes, it's going to be the exact same as last season, but there are some changes. Unflinching doesn't have tenacity anymore. It only gives resistances now. Armor and MR shards were replaced with movement speed, scaling health, and tenacity. We're still going to go the classic Conqueror with Nimbus Cloak and Ignite combo, but for the shards, we're going to go double adaptive with scaling HP pretty much every game. In matchups where you don't have any kill pressure like tanks or certain ranged matchups like Kennen, you can instead go scaling with Gathering Storm and also the ability Haste Shard to scale into the mid game. For a laning setup where you want to focus more on the early game, we go Boner Plating with Unflinching. Remember, Unflinching gives resistances now, so you definitely want that Legend Tenacity a lot more. And you could get the flat HP rune to get as much HP in the early game as possible to survive hard matchups like Renekton. But if they don't have any CC, you could go Shield Bash instead of Unflinching. Against Poke, we go Second Wind with D-Shield, but most of the time we're going to go Doran's Blade. So let's talk about these bruiser items. Eclipse is one of the top priority items for Riven. This item costs 2800 gold, so it'll give you a fast power spike if you build this first. It's got all the stats that Riven wants like AD and haste, and with its max HP damage proc and the shield, it makes Riven really strong in trades. Last season, Ravenous Hydra was the most broken item in the game.
I prove I'm fucking dead. So cringe. A champ? Unlucky.
But now it got reverted back because it was too broken. Thanks a lot, Zed. Hey, but that means Tiamat is back, so that's pretty cool. Overall, this is a lackluster item. If you really wanted to build it, you'd probably do it first item because you just want that wave clear, sustain, and farm up into the mid game. The damage on it is doggy, and you're better off building Eclipse instead. You can build Hydra in matchups you can't kill like Ornn or Malphite, or in range matchups like Kenny, or maybe Vayne Top, who's the latest fucking craze right now. But Hydra is really the only option Riven has for sustain, so it can be good when you're trying not to die. Spear Shojin is the best item for cooldown reduction. It's got that juicy 15 ability haste for your regular abilities, on top of the 20 haste that you already get. Now it has a passive where you stack damage every time you hit an ability. You can even stack it on minions to get the max damage before you try to engage. This is definitely a core item that you want. But Sundered Sky? Oh my god.
I thought I soloed the Akali. Riven just crit me? That is not fair. She crit me.
Sundered Sky is disgusting. This is the new Divine Sunderer because this item lets you crit on champions and it heals you for your entire health bar. Not only that, but the cooldown is separate for every champion that you hit. That means in a team fight you can auto everyone once and get 5 procs of healing. Like imagine critting without building crit. Who are you, Tryndamere? Is Riot smoking penis out here? Black Cleaver is fucking shit yourself. It does no damage, it barely puts a scratch on the champions that it would actually work on, tanks. Seriously, you should never build this item. Only build it when you're against like 2 or more tanks. You'd probably build it third item after you've already built your core items. Overall, this is a lackluster item. Steric's Gauge is OP now. It now gives you a whole bunch of tenacity, 20%. With tenacity being removed from Unflinching, we're going to be looking into this item more to avoid getting locked down and bursted. The massive shield that it gives you is good in any situation. You'll be so tanky. After 10 years, Brutalizer is finally back. But it's ass on Riven? Not necessarily. It just doesn't build into any of the bruiser items that Riven wants. Brutalizer is a lethality item now, meant for assassins. Oh, nice going, Zed. With lethality being buffed big time, we might actually see lethality Riven being viable. And because Ravenous Hydra sucks huge anus now, Profane Hydra is just way better. If Ravenous Hydra is the lifesteal Hydra, and Titanic is the AD carry Hydra, then Profane Hydra is for big damage. Serylda's Gooch is really strong, even though it's a lethality item now. It might even be better than Black Cleaver up until you're against really heavy armor, but Serylda's can be good against most champions. However, you can't buy Cleaver and Serylda's anymore. You can only buy one. RIP. If you had an opportunity to use opportunity, haha, then you'd know it's an okay item. It's got lethality and movement speed. As we know, movement speed is one of the most broken stats in the game, basically the same thing as Ghostblade. Overall, this is a lackluster item. Collector's Troll, Axiom is ass, Hubris fucking sucks. Overall, these are lackluster items. Edge of Night is actually pretty good, but overall it's a lackluster. Our build path is going to look like this. First item, Eclipse is what you want most games. This item has the best build path, you get a fast power spike for laning, and it helps so much in trades. Sometimes you need health in the laning phase, so you could go Sundered Sky first. In matchups where you get one shot like Burgot, Garen, even Ornn, Sundered Sky gives you tank stats and sustain from the healing proc. But it's not real sustain you can use in lane because you can't always auto champions. In that case, we can go Ravenous Hydra for sustain. Against champions we don't want to fight, like tanks or range matchups. But if you get Ravenous Hydra, you delay your core items, because what you really want is the Eclipse and Sundered Sky combo. With the Eclipse and Sundered Sky combo, you can proc both items in 2 moves, giving you a lot of front-loaded damage. Riven now has a really strong engage in 1v1, and even team fights with the extra HP and shield. You can proc Sundered Sky multiple times in a team fight, because all you gotta do is auto every champion once. Just shank these fuckers left and right, and they can never kill you. You can go Shojin in situations where you feel like you're gonna need more haste. Maybe in range matchups where you get kited and you might need that extra utility, or even auto attackers like Tryndamere or Trundle. This can be a really good first item because it even has HP for not dying in one hit. Black Cleaver Rush is weak. No damage looking ass. If you are fighting against tanks, you're never gonna kill them anyways. Just build it if they have 5 tanks on the enemy team at this point. For boots, you kind of have to go Lucidity most of the time because you need that ability haste. But sometimes there's gonna be situations where Ninja Steel Caps have more value. For example, they have auto attackers on the enemy team like Yone, Tryndamere, Viego. I would go Merc Treads if they have a lot of magic damage or have perma CC teams, but we already have Legend Tenacity or Sterix Gauge for that, so you're rarely gonna build Mercs. So yeah, because mythic items are gone now and we're not being dicked down into building the same item every game, we can set up in basically unlimited amount of ways. You could go Eclipse Sky Shojin for the ultimate bruiser build, you can rush Hydra to start building sustain, or go Eclipse Cleaver when you're against tanks, or you could even start rushing defensive items. It's really up to you. Or why don't you try my secret retread build? Eclipse Sundered Sky into Voltaic Cyclo Sword. Voltaic Bicycle Sword. Voltaic Sickle Cell Sword is actually a rare item that synergizes well with Riven's kit. It has ability haste and Riven can activate the passive extremely easily. This item you can kill anyone in one auto attack. But if you want to build lethality, the pros have been cooking this setup. We go Domination second with Sudden Impact and Ingenious Hunter. Ingenious Hunter synergizes with all of the goofy ass item effects we have. First, we build Serrated Dick into Brutalizer. With these 2 items in the early game, and with the armor shard being removed from runes, you can one combo champions so hard with this, even through Ninja Tabbies. Then after that you finish Profane Hydra, and now you have a lot of choices. You could go Sundered Sky to be more tanky, Serildas, or finish Serrated Dick by building stuff like Edge of Night or Opportunity. Full Lethality Riven is a high risk, high reward build. You can one-shot champions, but you'll do no damage to big, tanky, oily men. Because lethality is a flat stat, it does no damage to armor. Against high armor, you should focus on percentage armor pen, but even if you're going lethality, you don't have to fully go into it. Riven can also buy some bruiser items with it, so she doesn't get one shot. But let's go over Riven's defensive options. Death Dance and Maw remain a staple on Riven. Death Dance is good against physical damage, and Maw is good against magic damage. With Maw, you have the option to go Hex Drinker early, build your other items, and then finish Maw. Sterix Gauge is good against CC, but you can't build Maw and Sterax. You can only choose one. Guardian Angel sucks now with no more stopwatch. You'd probably build this last item. But another really good item is Jack Show. It makes you tanky against both physical and magical damage. Jack Show synergizes with other defensive items because it boosts those defensive stats. But you could also combo this with Sterix Gauge. This will give you armor, magic resist, and a shield to fight against the famous Colgate type damage. So yeah, that's the Riven build for Season 14. But not really, because they might nerf everything. Everything is broken, nothing is balanced.
Oh, you're dead, Zyra. Wow. That guy's kind of fucking strong. But you're stronger. Whoa.
I'm putting it down. It's time to ride the Riven cycle. Here we go.